MT4.
Yeah, I suppose you could.
The thing is you don't set a timer with MT4, right? So MT4 is just you enter and then you close your trade out. You can definitely try it, but you've got to have movement in the markets for MT4 to be profitable, right? So in that 3-minute time period, this style of trading, because we're scalping really fast, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It kind of just depends on what the markets are doing. So you can definitely try it, but otherwise you can literally just go to pocketoption.com. They have a demo account. You can literally just click it and it's instant. So if you'd like to just practice on Pocket Option with this style of trading, it's definitely, you just literally click a button and you've got a demo account open.
Yeah, pocketoption.com, click demo account, and then you're good to go, basically. The thing about doing it on MT4 is that your broker will have a spread, and because we're only doing small movements, sometimes our trades will only win by a very small margin, and then end up pushing through. And so because of the brokerage spread on MT4, I don't know, I haven't really tried it much, but yeah, because we're looking at the 5-minute time frame. So by the way, guys, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to sort of take a step through what I'm doing. What we're doing on the hourglass scanner is we're looking for a currency pair with a good spread in the currency strength. So GBP is a lot stronger than CAD right now, being 67 points over, and CAD being 24 points. I'm looking for something with about 15 or 20 points difference. So that helps to identify a current trend. And then on the hourglass scanner, there's a few other things that help you identify trends. The Ichimoku, however you pronounce it, cloud here. Basically, if it's green and it's below, then you've got a confirmation of a trend. And then you've got this this colored line here that it goes red and green, and it'll switch between red and green depending if price is below or above that line. And if it's above that line, it'll be green, and that's saying that it's an upwards trend. If it's below that line, it's saying it's a downwards trend. So right now I've got multiple confirmations on an upwards trend on GBP CAD, so 67 points over 22. We've got the green Ichimoku cloud, and then we've got this green EMA line down here to confirm that. Now, it has been cutting through it, so I don't normally like to trade them when they've been cutting through it regularly, but I do like, right now, up the top here, by the way, you can switch to 5 minutes and you can switch to 15 minutes. When I do this diagonal trend line thing, I usually switch to the 15 to try and look for some sort of trend on a higher time frame. This one here looks like it's possibly curving out of it, but what I would do is I'd go to the 15-minute, grab this just under the lines here, grab trend line, and then I would just come up to sort of the base of where the trend is, and I'll just follow that back, and I'm really trying to cut through as many candles, bases of candles, and also wicks, and we'll adjust that as we go along. I'll just move that back, and you'll notice with the market, it's funny. See how there, if I do that there, it's respected this diagonal line on the way up here. It broke through it. It came back. Sorry, I'm talking really loudly, and Gemma's giving me that look.
No,
the kids are sleeping, so I thought you were giving me the look.
No.
So it broke through that, and then it came up, and it respected it at the top here, and then it came through, and it bounced on top of it. So not only will you get horizontal support and resistance lines, but in the market, you'll notice the more you look for them, you'll find all these diagonals as well. And by doing sort of a combination of the two, I've found, I get quite a good success from that. And so then what we'll do, I mean, this is pretty rough. What we'll do is then we'll move down to the 5 minute. And by the way, fire away any questions if there is any questions. Switch down to the 5 minutes. And what you're trying to do, actually, another thing that you should do is if you click on this little button down here, this little I button, you can just get just the candles, and it's much easier to do it this way. I think this is actually breaking out of it, but what we'll do then is we'll move down to this. I've just moved down to the 5 minute, and then what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to determine, okay, so I'm doing 3 minute trades is what I normally do. I might change that based on the number of candles, and I'll explain that in a minute. But I normally do 3 minute trades. And what I'm trying to determine is if it's going to continue following this trend, and it might break out, we'll see, is how long you're wanting to basically find a balance between getting trade entries but also making sure that you're not that you don't miss the trade. And so, for example, I've now switched down to the 1 minute candle, and sorry, little guy's just woken up. Dad's spoken too loud. So I'm switched down to the 1 minute candle, and what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to have this bounce on this line and trade it up and trade it up. Now you want to find that balance between not missing the entries, so you can move your line around. If I was to put my line there and only enter on only enter when it comes down to that line, then right now it actually looks like it'll be a good entry. See how it's respected it there. It's kind of bounced above it there, so you can see that perfect trend line through there. Here it's a little bit off. I probably need to adjust that. So you can put it there. The thing about that is that sometimes, like over here, it won't make it down to the line and you won't get an entry. So it depends on how patient you are. You can do this. We're on the 1 minute time frame right now, so if I do that, it's possible that in future it might only come down to sort of this area as well, up here. So if I move that forward there, then I'm sort of ensuring that possibly I won't miss an entry up here if it does the same sort of thing. And then you just want to have balance between getting your entries, but also making sure that price isn't below that entry for too long, because I do, like, depends on the timing of your trade. I do 3 minute trades. So you can see here it's spent 2 minutes below that line. So, and it came back down. So it's a bit close. 3 minutes might be a little bit short. Here it's spent sort of, it could be half a minute and then another possibly 2 and another half, and about 3 minutes below. So that to me is pretty good because it's touched here. Now you can see here it's spent a lot of time below there. So really there's no right or wrong to this. It's just when you look for a trend, and it is a confirmed trend, by the way, you want I think it's 3 touches really for a confirmed trend. And then you just finding that balance between being patient or just moving it and only finding the best entries. So right now, like when I said it would be a good entry, I think we could actually jump on that. I think it's going to reverse. It might take a little bit longer than 3 minutes. So you can see it, the market moves in waves. So you can see here we're on the 1 minute time frame, and how many minutes has it taken to make its way up here? That's 20 minutes or something. It's made to work its way up there. So if you entered a trade now where it's coming down to this here, it's likely, nothing's 100%, but it's likely, we're in an upwards trend. Everything's telling us we're going up, and it's now come down to this diagonal support. It's likely that it'll probably work its way back up over the next 20 minutes. So then you just have to determine how much time are you going to give it. I like to find, I normally like to find, very short or very small trends, where it's only taking, 5 minutes or so to make its way up to the top, and then for another 5 minutes to make its way down. And then what you can do is you can even, now this is trading against the trend, which we're not supposed to do, but I often do it in these sorts of scenarios, because you can chuck another one at the top there. TradingView is a bit easier for doing this, because with TradingView you can actually just copy, you can just go Control C and Control V, and it gives you the exact angle that you're using on the bottom line, and then you can very easily chuck that one straight at the top there, and you're looking for something like that there. So now what we can do, now this trend's been going for a fair while, so it could be breaking out, it could, but it's likely though, you can see it's been respecting it, so it could come back up here, and then we can get another entry down there. So let's say we trade this. Chuck a 1 in the chat if you want to trade this.
Someone's in the trade already.
Someone's in the trade already. Oh, okay.
Jessica said, could you use the RSIs to confirm it?
Yes,
and basically hit the oversold.
100%.
Ready to go back up. Yeah.
100%. They don't always, not everything's always going to line up. I just have trouble with getting this. There we go. It's not always going to line up. So right now we're going for a buy, and when you look at your stochastic and your RSI, they haven't worked all the way back down, which is ideal for going for a buy. So it's not always going to line up, and you can't tick all the boxes every single time, and you just got to decide how picky are you with your trading and how patient are you. Are you going to wait for or try and find a trend that does tick all those boxes? Oh, sorry, I'm on the 1 minute though. We want to jump to the 5 minute. The 5 minute. There we go. Here we go. So the 5 minute, I take that back. I was on the 1 minute. The 5 minute is where I look when I'm doing 3-minute trades, the 5-minute is where I look and make it a, you know, a summarization of how, you know, not where I'm going to take my entries, but yeah, just looking at the other indicators and everything. That's where I make my analysis, is on the 5-minute. So we are now we're now at a good position here. If you look across here, we've got a support straight through there, a horizontal support. We've come down to this diagonal support. We still have a very strong Ichimoku cloud. Okay, everything is looking good. This is actually crossed up, but it looks like it's playing around with us a little bit. But you can now count these candles, right? It's taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 5-minute candles to make its way up there. So that's 30 minutes. So these are very slower, a lot slower, these trades. But I reckon, I mean, normally I do 3-minute trades, but this one is just sort of a much longer trend and it's moving very slowly. But I might jump in on a 15-minute, 20-minute trade on this one, just depending on what this candle does. Because the one thing that I use to know when to jump out of these trends is if you move your line to the very base of the trend. So if you try and find sort of as many touch points, so I've got a touch point there, that one's not quite touching there, but that looks pretty good to me. Now, if your candle closes outside of that, if your 5-minute candle closes outside of that, then you'd probably hold off and just see what it's going to do, because it's possible that it's going to break out. But I'm quite liking this, where I've got a brand new candle coming in. So I'm going to chuck in, I think I'm going to do a 15-minute trade. And while that one runs, we're going to try and find some other trades. Let me just.
Nice. Mindy said I took it for 2 minutes and cleared.
Nice, Mindy. Yeah. I mean, that's normally how I trade. I normally take trades when it just whacks a resistance. And even if it just comes back up a little bit, that's all that you need. But in this case, I just want to give you guys a little bit more. And this is actually applicable to your MT4 trade. So you could probably do an MT4 trade on this one, because it's likely that it will go up. And that's quite a good spread over that time. So anyway, so this is applicable to all types of trades. So what is that? What are we looking at? That is GBP CAD.
Nice, Katie. I took 3 minutes and cleared.
Okay.
Sweet.
I think I'm going to chuck a 15-minute in there. It's kind of like, there's no rule to this, like if you're doing Rico strategy and a lot of educators will say like 3 candles.
It's broken out.
If you're doing on the 15. Yeah, what is it doing? I think it's bouncing off the support,
that one. Yeah.
But I just don't want to see it breaking through that support area here. I mean, it's already sort of coming down past my line, but we've got the hourglass. Hourglass spits out support and resistance based on previous data. And I kind of want to see what this next candle is going to do, but it's 5 minutes. So while that happens,
let's look for some other setups, guys. If you see some setups.
Yeah, so this is, it's coming, it's breaking out. No, sorry guys. I hope I didn't actually get into the trade, and we'll see what happens. It's not always a done deal, but if this candle closes outside of that line, then you'd hold off for that for sure. Yeah, it is just one of those things where sometimes you jump on and you've got this great movement and these perfect sort of channels to trade, and the moment that you want to trade them, then it jumps out. It's very funny. Anyways,
okay, let's look at some other setups.
Man, all the euro pairs are just going for it.
Yeah.
Euro USD on the 15. Let's see what it says on the 5. It's spending a lot of time below there, that's for sure. It's moving very slow, but Euro USD, how many minutes do we have left on this candle? So right now I'm not looking for a channel. I'm just trying to find a good support. Strange. All right, Euro USD. We've got 5 minutes. I'm going to give this candle a little bit longer. I prefer not to enter a trade sort of halfway into a 5-minute candle. we've got a little, this is how I create my zones. So we've got this sort of support area here. It's actually up a little bit. For me, it'll be about there. And then I create a zone. Like I don't actually do this, but I do this in my mind. From these sort of previous candles, the top of that support to the bottom of those wicks, that is my zone. So what I'm waiting for is, if we zoom out, so we've got this sort of bouncing up, you know, higher highs, higher lows. It looks like we're getting a little bit of consolidation here, so it could be going out. It's another euro pair. The other one's euro CAD, so it could be that this is changing direction. You got this EMA line that's hooking over, which is another thing to say that it's changing direction. But because I'm only going to do a 3-minute trade on this, I'm happy with this. It's been supported off this. All I want is in this next candle, or basically from now, if it comes down to touch the top of my zone, I would trade it. It may have already done what it wants to do, but I want it to come down into the sort of purple zone, or just touch it in this next candle, and then I'd trade it up. Yeah, it came up a little bit higher. Yeah, okay. Looks like it's going for it. Well, we'll hang around. There's 20 seconds left on this candle, and so we'll see what that one does. If it comes back down, you know, you can't, if it's consolidating or possibly changing directions, you know, you got to be careful. But if you're only doing very small short trades, all that we need is just for a little bounce. That's all that we need. So we've got now the new 5-minute candle coming down. Let's see, will this, now it's ideal to enter it. It's ideal to enter it when the candle opens down the bottom and heads up, right? That's the ideal time to open it, to enter it. So technically what I would advise you do is you'd wait for the 5-minute for this one to work its way down, then you wait for a new candle to open, just like that last candle. We probably, you know, it just didn't make it quite down to where I was expecting it to go, but it did what I wanted it to, so it kind of went away from this area. So technically you'd wait for this candle to work its way down. If it does, and then you'd enter around the new candle on the way up. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit of waiting around. Has anybody kept an eye on that last one, that longer trade? What was that? That was Euro CAD, wasn't it? Euro CAD, what are you doing? Are you breaking out? And my time is not running. Why is my time not running? Sometimes the scanners freeze up, and so right now I don't have the timer, and the timer is pretty important to me because I want to know how long is left in the candle. If you refresh, you'll lose any markups that you've made. So what you can do is you can hit save, and then, I don't know, just name it, whatever. Save, and then you can now refresh your scanner.
Dwayne said AUD chef for a sell.
AUD chef for a sell. Let's see. Yeah, Dwayne's got a 5-pointer AUD chef for a sell, and it looks like it's moving. It's on a great resistance area through here. It's actually in an upwards trend. So you're trading against the trend. If I was going to do this one, I would do a shorter trade just as it taps on that line. See there, you got your resistance coming through there. And if I was going to do this trade,
2 minutes.
We'll see what it does, but we may have lost this one, missed this one. Dwayne, did you get in? Okay, we're all good with the folders.
Yeah, he did.
You did? Nice. Okay, Dwayne found a great trade. Normally trading against the trend is not ideal. I do it all the time though, but this one in particular is really good because you've got this previous zone here where prices come up. I'm on the 5-minute, on the 1 minute there, but if you go to the 5-minute, you'll see how it's just wicked up past here and made its way back down. So we're now up here again, and the question is it going to break through now? Yeah, so there you go. And that's why, I mean, we've still got a couple of minutes left on this candle, but we're in an upwards trend. And that's why I would, if I'm trading against the trend like that, you want to look at the market movement, and I'd shorten my trade so that I can just get that little bounce and then it'll go through. So that one's gone. Okay, so I'm gonna just go wing it and freestyle. I was trying to find some real, one of the things that I'm wanting to do, and I realize that I may be steering people wrong, is I've done a lot of trading on this style, and I can move quite quickly and just instinctually take trades. But in reality, especially if you're new, patience is so important. Like looking for a setup like we did with that whatever it was, Euro CAD, I think it was, trying to find something that makes sense, that is ticking a lot of boxes and not just jumping in. I do jump in. I do that myself, because I've had a lot of experience. But for you new guys, I want you guys to take a little bit more time. Honestly, in the beginning, if you get 1 or 2 trades in an hour and they're successful trades based off your analysis, that's a huge win. Then you can say, I did this, I looked at this, I ticked the boxes, I found the trend, I followed it, and I won the trade. And so I'm trying to do, normally when I jump on these sessions, I sort of do more rapid fire, but I'm trying to encourage people to take some time with the trading, because it is very important that you learn the steps that get you there. And then once you get better at it, you can start trading against the trend and trying out these different techniques.
Nice. Susan said in profit now with GBP CAD on MT4.
Ah, awesome. Sweet. GBP CAD, was that the one, that the original one?
Yeah, I think so.
GBP
cool.
CAD. GBP. Where are we? Okay, I'm going to stop talking and just get some trades for you guys. GBP CAD, where are we? GBP CAD. I think that was it. Euro CAD, or was it GBP CAD? I don't remember. Well, looks like, yeah, that's trending. Oh, yeah, that was the one, wasn't it? Yeah. You're in profit now.
Oh, now it's dropped.
Yeah, it has dropped.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you get into profit, close that trade out.
Yeah, just because of, I mean, it's possible.
I mean, it's, yeah.
Nah, yeah.
Anyway.
It's breaking out below it on the 5 minute. So see that, guys, there? And it hasn't really done that. So if you follow this trend up here, I mean, it's sort of poked and just, but it hasn't actually closed. Like the candles haven't closed below it, when now the candles have closed below it. Okay, and you've now also another, you got a shift here. So you got this red line and this blue line, and that acts, if you know what the DLO scanner is, if you do the DLO strategy, you'll know what a shift is. And this here, the red line, it's basically red, blue, and then black is basically what you want to see, red, blue, black. Sorry, yeah, red at the top. If red has crossed the blue, then it's basically a shift. It's telling you that the market's now coming out of the trend. So I mean, nothing's ever 100%. This could make its way back up, and it's just possibly just hanging out below here. But that is something that to be aware of. You know, you got to be very, if you're doing MT4, you're going to really watch that trade and then set yourself. You know, I would say if it hits, you'd look for the next support, and if it crashes below that support, you'd get out of that trade, right? So that's what I would do. I'd chuck in a horizontal line, maybe here or there, maybe there, and then if it came and if it dropped below that line, I'd get out of that trade for sure. All right. Okay, now I'm just going to fire through. You guys can fire some questions in the chat while I try and find some trades.
Maybe USD JPY looks like an uptrend.
USD JPY. The scanners, sometimes they work so good, and then sometimes they just don't do what you want them to do. USD CAD, did they say? USD CAD.
No, JPY.
Oh, USD JPY. Downwards trend. Oh, yep. So you got a 7.8. The one thing, this is great. You know, you got this previous support, and just like that other one, it's great. But you've also got this W formation, right? And so you got to be careful with that. So this would have to be a quick trade if we're going to hit this one.
I'd take it for a sell.
Yeah, no, we're definitely going to take it for a sell, but because we're scalping, I'd definitely take it for a sell. But oh, my battery's running low. Can you grab the thing? USD JPY. what I'm pointing out, I definitely take this for a sell, and you just want to tap it. And I think we may have already missed it, but yeah, I think we might have missed it. We're going to wait for this candle now, because this support or resistance here that's come through from this wick all the way across here, right? You probably could have won a trade on that. The moment that it hit that resistance line, you could have done a 1 minute or maybe a 2 minute trade against the current trend, because the current trend is now heading back up, and you could have cleared that with just a little bounce. But you've got this W formation as well, right? So if you guys have watched many of the educators, so W's tend to form at the bottom. So double, what are they called? Double bottoms, double tops. Essentially, it's a W formation that forms at the bottom of the market when it's about to reverse the other way, and a confirmation for like possibly like a Rico strategy entry would be when price pushes and closes above the middle of your W. So you got your W here, and there's the, I don't know what you call it, the center of the W. If price closes above that, then we should take this for a trade up, not down, which is counterintuitive to the trend. But you've also got the shift here. So you got the red line that's shifted back. Now red is in front, it's shifted back. And when that happens, I mean, this to me would be a good MT4 trade. You know, you trade that up. It's difficult when you're scalping to trade this sort of thing, because the timing is so crucial. Oh, there you go. There you go. We could have jumped in on that one. But it's very difficult to trade sort of a longer term trend with a short 3 minute timing, because although this is going to go up, just like we expected, it's going to go up in little waves, and we're not totally sure. So for me, it's not really an entry that I can take with my normal style. I could take that entry down as it hits that resistance very quickly. I'd be confident with taking that. But although it's with the current trend, it's funny because it's really hard to know exactly when it's going to continue with that trend, unless it comes back and retests. So the other thing that we can do is, now we've got a confirmed shift. The trend is still in terms of the hourglass. And in terms of the hourglass scanner, there's a couple of things that are telling us that it's in a downwards trend, which is, obviously that line there. The Ichimoku cloud, it's actually just broken through it. So this red cloud is no longer above price. Let's see if we can get a bounce on this break and retest, right? So it's coming down. Ideally, we want it to near the end of this candle, because we're in a brand new candle. I mean, you could even tap it. You could possibly tap it now-ish when it comes down. If it's coming down close to here, I could chuck a 3 minute trade in there, I reckon. So what is this? This is USD JPY.
DC, I think this is way too advanced for me. I'm just learning what everything means.
Yeah,
that's okay. Don't worry about it. Like today, we're doing a little bit more analysis, because the markets, we're just waiting for good setups. The more you jump on our sessions, the more things will start to make sense. Today we've gone a little bit more advanced into the technical side of things, but honestly, just seeing live trading take place is just sometimes amazing, regardless of whether you understand it or not.
I'm in for a 3 minute. It's pretty impromptu. It's not at the end of a candle. In fact, it's halfway through a candle.
Christian got impatient.
I'm getting impatient. But what I want is, I'm in this zone here, right? I'm in this zone here, and I may be wrong. Normally, I'd like to wait for the end of a candle, but there's this sort of zone here. It's made its way. So there's a previous resistance there. You've got a candle that closed back there, and they've got this support zone here. It's come through, it's broken through. So breakthroughs and retests is something that you'll learn in the academy. They're a great thing to trade, because they're more accurate. I was going to say they're very accurate, but they're more accurate in terms of finding an entry. So I'm in on that one. Chuck a 1 if you're in. Oh, and this is I got impatient and I jumped in like at the beginning of this candle, because I was hoping for a little bounce. It's definitely ideal to wait till the end of the candle before you enter.
I'm not trying to. You are.
Just gonna mute that. Oh, can you? Sorry, guys. I have just extended my trade because I was very impatient and I should have waited till the end of this candle. And that's, you will learn a lesson. And when you're live trading, I get pressured because I want to find a trade for you guys. And that happens. Actually, right now, and that seems silly, but an entry on this red line when you're in a heavy uptrend can work quite well, and I've played around with it. It's like the D-low strategy. So an entry right now, what are we at? I don't like to take double entries, but we're at the end of this candle, and I'm gonna chuck a second one in there. All right. And now I'm going to leave it at that, and we're just going to let it ride out. I don't know if anybody was able to extend their first trade.
Heather cleared, nice.
I'm glad. I don't know how you cleared, Heather. You must have gotten. Are you on the same pair? I'm glad you cleared. That's great. All right, come on. New candle opening. Now we want to see
Good
some
morning,
heavy
baby.
upwards movement. USD, JPY.
Nice, 1 minute cleared.
1 minute cleared, nice. Come on.
Lost,
yeah. I'm sorry, guys. This W formation has happened, and I was expecting it to keep going, but it looks like it's not doing what I expected. But I'm still in this trade. I would suggest hanging tight because I might lose this. This is technically trading against the overall trend. Like the overall trend is a downwards trend, and the only reason why I didn't want to take that for a downwards is because of this W formation and the fact that it's broken through the Ichimoku cloud, and that we've seen a shift. So there's a few things that tells me that possibly price is moving in the other direction, but hey, sometimes I'm wrong. Come on. No.
The markets are a bit wacky this morning.
Yeah. I won't blame the markets on that one. That was just, it's me making a call on analysis, but I'm trading against the trend, and that's the lesson, right? Don't trade against the trend. Sometimes it works, but
oh, they all thought you said took a sell.
Great. Okay, I'm glad that they got in. Did they get in?
Yeah.
Good. I didn't take a sell because I saw this close. This last candle here close above our W formation, and I actually expected this to go up a bit higher because we had a shift. We're breaking through the Ichimoku cloud. This closed above this previous resistance and above the center of the W. So I'm actually expecting this to go up a bit higher. That's actually what I'm expecting, but it's not doing what I expected. So I am taking a big lesson this morning, entering 2 trades, which I shouldn't do, and I don't normally do, and I'm losing them both. So I'm sorry, guys, if you guys didn't win that one with me, but I hope we're at least getting some lessons out of this, right? Okay, let's go find something and trade with the trend. Here we go. USD CAD. Is it going to work its way up? It's all right, bud.
Yeah, just
move back. That's yeah. I mean, it's not a perfect touch point, but down to the 1 minute. See Okay, I'm going to try and take a sniper entry on this one. Okay. Now, where are we at? We are 1 minute left in this candle. Okay, get ready on USD CAD. That would have been a great entry there, actually. That would have been perfect. Let's see if it makes it way. If it does, I'm going to jump to the 1 minute. And if that pops up, USD CAD. Okay. Come on. So I'm watching the 1 minute. I'm going to wait for this next 1 minute candle to come out. If that pops up and nears this zone here, then I'm going to take it for a sell. Are you ready? Here we go. We've got the new candle forming. I'm on USD CAD. So really, if it's up here somewhere, that'd be great. Like an entry up here, 964. Almost there. All right, I'm in on USD CAD for 3 minutes. Okay.
Drop it like it's hot.
Yeah, drop it like it's hot. Let's drop it.
You're cool, right?
I'm not sure if I'm recording.
Doesn't matter.
All right, we need some drop it music. Jemma's getting that lined up for us. Come on, Snoop Dogg, push this price down. Who's in? Drop a 1 in the chat if you're in. Let's go. Let's go. Double entry, Dwayne. Oh, yeah, double Dwayne.
Double Dwayne.
I was saying my internet connection is unstable.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Come on.
Like it's hot.
Give us that drop.
Park it like it's hot. Park it like it's hot.
Jump to the 5.
Get an attitude. Pop it like it's hot. Pop it like it's hot. Pop it like it's hot. Got the rollie on my arm and I'm pouring Sean down and I'm flipping because I got it going on.
Come on, give us the drop. Now, it's not overbought yet, or overbought yet. So this was sort of just a quick analysis. It could possibly work its way up to here, but I'm hoping it's just going to respect that and drop. Come on. What I'm hoping for is that what I'm expecting is a wick formation and then a drop, but today might not be my day, man. Come on. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Today I'm just really dropping the ball on you guys.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Pigs try to get at you. Park it like it's hot. Park it like it's hot. Park it like it's hot.
Yeah.
Get an attitude. Pop it like it's hot. Pop it like it's hot. Pop it like it's hot. Got the rollie on my arm and I'm pouring Sean down and I'm flipping because I got it going on.
And that's breaking out of that now. So
But y'all do that. The big ghost dog. Yeah,
Snoop Dogg. I'm gonna blame Snoop Dogg. No. I'm so look guys, I'm having one of those days. You know, I think I've jumped on here for the last 10 weeks and we've had about a 80% win rate over the last 10 weeks or so. I think it's about 70 to 80% win rate, and today I'm really dropping the ball. So I hope you weren't trading too much real money, guys. It's the dog's fault. It is the damn dog. Yeah, it's that damn dog's fault. But I want to continue trading because I want to give you guys some wins, but this is a lesson, right? Now I've just lost 3 trades in a row. So if I was doing this with my real account, with my big account, I would have stopped at 2, right? And I would have come back later. So it's very unfortunate, and I it really is just the last thing that I want to do is to leave you guys on a couple of losses. But that is the reality of trading, right? We can't win them all. We've had a great run over the last 10 weeks, and now this is one of our bad days. So you have your bad days, you have your bad weeks, and the important thing is to know when to stop and step away. So I'm going to stop, and we're going to step away. I hope that you at least were able to get some learning or some value from it. I'll still be posting this. I'll post every single session that I do, good or bad, because that is the reality of trading. And is there any questions? I mean, we've got 5 or 10 minutes. Is there any questions, or is there anything that I can help you with, or anything? Otherwise, if you're happy and you enjoyed it, then we can call it as well. I'm just keeping an eye on the chat just to see if there's any questions. Doesn't look like there's anything coming through. Obviously, like I always say, feel free to reach out to me or Jemma anytime if you guys need any help. And we'll be back again next week, hopefully with some wins. We've had our bad days, so next week I'm sure we'll be back on track. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk soon. Yeah. Oh, it's on my one, isn't it? Okay.